Hello and good morning. Making cookies today, orange and dark chocolate chip. This is going to be a few different little videos, but I wanted to show you guys how I set up and my recipe. So hold on a sec. Okay, so make sure you have all your stuff ready. I've got a cup of butter, I've got a cup of sugar, and I zested an orange. So you get my oranges right there, and I use my microplane zester. I've got one egg, and it looks weird and cloudy because I put some orange extract in there. I did about a teaspoon of that in there. I've got 2 1/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda. So when you guys measure flour, make sure that you're not taking the scoop and doing it directly in this, because that way your cookies dry out like crazy. So, but if you take another spoon and you put that in the measuring cup, it fluffs it up and it's not as dry. Okay, so you know, put it in your, here, I'm gonna try to do this in here so you can see. So you put this, measure it like that, and then when you get it full, just kind of like scrape off the top of that so it's a level scoop. Okay, that's how I do it. So what I mean by it being too dry with your flour is it adds extra flour, which means it dries out. Anyway, moving on, and I'm going to be using the dark chocolate chips. Okay, all right. So, and then I zested the orange into here just because putting it in the sugar helps, I don't know, blossom the flavor of the orange. So just kind of like let that set for a couple minutes, kind of smoosh it around. Okay, all right. Now we're going to move on to the mixing. So I got my cup of butter in there. It's going to get loud, sorry. Mix that up. You want this nice and soft, okay? Sorry, I should get close so you can see it, but I don't know if you can hear me, so. Now we're cooking. Alright, turn it down so it doesn't fling all the sugar everywhere. About to stir it. There we go. I got my orange sugar here. I smushed it around for a bit. Here you get all that in there. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna pop. Alright, so I got my sugar in there and it's mixing up quite well. I'm gonna flip it up a little bit. Make sure it's nice and whippy. Get it going. There we go. So in the video here, something happened and it cut out after the sugar is mixed in and makes that nice whippy. You need to add the egg and the orange extract and mix it in there until it's well incorporated. And you scrape the bowl down, that kind of stuff, okay? So that's what part of the video is missing, but there's the information that goes with it, okay? Alright, so that's what it should be looking like. Nice and whipped. Alright, and I scraped down the bowl earlier, but I'm going to turn this down to like stir, so it's like barely moving. I think that's on 2. Yeah, it needs to go down 1 more. Okay. Alright, so I've got my flour, and I have my spoon that I measured earlier, and I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Don't go wild and crazy. So wait till it's all mixed in, you know. Well, don't do that. Just mix it in. Otherwise, if you let it mix for too long, your cookies are going to get really tough. You don't want that. Alright, so that's the flour all mixed in. Make sure it's all mixed in. Okay, and then take it down really low, and then we're going to mix in our chocolate chips. And I did about 3/4 cup of the dark chocolate chips. Until it's all in there, and I would call that good. Alright, so that is what your dough looks like. So you need to scoop it, and it needs to chill for about a half an hour or longer. The longer it sets, the more the extracts and the orange zest will blossom and make the cookies amazing. Bake it at 350 for about 10 minutes. It's usually about 10 to 12 minutes for cookies like this, but I err on the underside because I like my cookies a little crispy on the edge but soft and chewy in the middle. So happy baking.